So in 1956, Elvis Presley was top of the charts, and he sung, "I'll be so lonely I could die." Have mercy. Thank you very much. I'm here all night. Today we might reshape that slightly and say, I feel so lonely I could burn out. So what is job burnout? So many different measures. I use the burnout assessment tool. It has 4 dimensions. 2 of those are well established. First one is exhaustion, physical, mental. If you wake up in the morning and you're tired, that's exhaustion. At the end of the day, if you're tired, that's just work. The other one is mental distancing or cynicism, where we doubt the significance of our work. And the reason I like the BAT, in conjunction with occupational psychologists dealing with burnout, it had 2 new dimensions added. One of those is cognitive impairment. We've got memory problems, cognitive functioning, and the other one is emotional impairment. So if a normal, stable person starts crying, starts expressing anger out of the blue, that might be an indication of burnout. If every 3 months your colleagues are crying or expressing anger, that's just academia. But if it happens weekly or, heaven forbid, daily, then that might be an indication that you're burning out. Now, the burnout assessment tool has a couple of points that I particularly like. The first one, if you are exhausted and tired, you're not burnt out, you're just exhausted, take a vacation. 2 weeks to recover versus maybe 3 months if you burn out. The second one is you can calculate a burnt out risk rate. In their measure, they have a threshold that if you cross, and I'll talk more about that next slide. The other thing I should say is that in my research, right at the end of my survey, I've had a definition of burnout and said, do you feel burnt out? And about 1 in 10 picked it right. So when you see these surveys that say, 71% of the workforce feels burnt out, they got no idea what burnout means. They just go, yeah, I'm really tired, I must be burnt out. So avoid those little suckers. Okay, so how can we conceptualize burnout? You are all bread, and our organizations are all toasters. That's how I like to look at burnout. This is the normal, the green level, and we all get a little bit of toasting, a little bit of color. In a perfect world, this would be 100% of the workforce, and that's all we have. Unfortunately, we get to the danger zone, the amber light, and now we've got a piece of bread with too much temperature, and you can see the smoke coming off. I took that photo myself, didn't even set off the smoke alarm. The last one, though, the severest form of burnout, I call burnt toast, when you are at high levels of all of those dimensions. And I've been following and using this burnout tool since May 2020, just after the first lockdown in New Zealand. We started off at a rather high 17%. The original work from the Netherlands, 5%, and Belgium, 8%. And I was like, wow, the New Zealand workforce is really struggling after those lockdowns. Through the rest of 2020 and 2021, we got up to the super high 43% at the end of 2021. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that is so terrible. Surely we'll never get past that. But wait till the next slide. In 2022, 2023, we fluctuated somewhere between 30 and that low 20s. Until April 2024, 57%. As an academic, I was like, I've made a mistake. Repeating my analysis multiple times, going like, no, that is the data. I do often bounce my findings off a couple of industry people, including a GP, and they were like, yeah, I believe it. And I was like, really? And they said, yeah, people out there are just really struggling. So I did some analysis just on the 2024 data, but it is worth noting that these findings replicate particularly well across all of the data. In fourth place, which I won't talk about, is high job insecurity. We're in a recession. We've got a new government in New Zealand. They're laying off people. So it's in there, but it's not in my top 3. In third place, high mobile working. using smart devices, phones, tablets, laptops, after hours in family time. So instead of engaging with a significant other, you're doing work on that tablet. Your risk rate of becoming burnt out, just under 15 times the odds. And you can see the rate there has doubled from December 2023 to April 2024. In second place, work demands are interesting. You could only work 40 hours a week but have so much work you just feel like you're the hamster on the treadmill. Or it might be like academics, we just keep getting that work no matter, even though you're flying across the world. I get the emails this morning, hey, that review is overdue. Your burnout rate there, you can see the odds, 15.7 times the chance of becoming burnt toast due to high work demands. And the number one driver, well, of course, they didn't call him the king for nothing, work loneliness. I have no connections at work. I have no one I can talk to. I don't feel like I can engage with anybody at work. And those burnout rates, 30.5 times your odds of becoming burnt toast. December, it was 18%. 5 months later, in April 2024, 53%. It's almost tripled. Why is that burnout rate jumped so highly in New Zealand? Because people are feeling lonely. And it's worth noting that Gallup announced recently their global survey, and they said about 20% of the workforce are experiencing loneliness on a daily level. And for the smokers out there, the Surgeon General in the US says loneliness is equivalent to smoking half a pack a day. So if you smoke, please don't be lonely. Go and find somebody to connect with. Otherwise, you're like doubling your health risks, right? Now, we obviously live in a world where working from home has radically changed. The 2024 data, hybrid workers had the highest levels of loneliness, followed by all home workers, and all office workers had the lowest. Clearly, all office workers are in there 5 days a week, and they are able to make some kind of connection. Important one, because in this conference we should have a good gender lens. There are gender differences. Females are reporting significantly higher loneliness, whether they're working hybrid, whether they're working from home. Just something for people to be aware of. So somebody here is going to be saying, is being burnt out really so bad? Yes. High job depression. Now, job depression means when I consider my job, I'm left with low pleasure, low mental arousal. 201 times your odds of being in the high depressed group if you are burnt out. I went through the data. 9 burnt out people are not in the high depressed group. And I was just like, that's quite depressing, actually. They are more likely to turn over, and heaven forbid, you probably do need to quit your job, it's worth saying, and they are poor performers. So, that is the dreary, sad part, right? Loneliness, burnout, depression, sounds miserable. Let's talk about solutions. Count the hours. The World Health Organization says if you're constantly working 55 hours a week or more, your chances of heart disease are 17% higher. So get people to count their hours. Academics, count your own. Watch the workload. This one is not mine. Prioritize ruthlessly. I found it online. I love the idea when your boss says, I need you to sit on a new committee, I need you to take on this new project. I want you to say, sure, you're the boss, but I will go off this other committee. I will put that other project on the back burner. I can't keep doing more and more with less and less. Prioritize ruthlessly. Socialize. Make meaningful connections. Watch out for others. Call out burnout, call out smoldering. Say, come on, you're looking terrible. Especially if somebody's getting upset and you think, this is happening quite frequently and I'm not used to it in that person. The challenge for academics. I see people shaking their head. No, Jarrod, I can't disconnect. So we need to switch off sometime. After hours, and that family time especially. Have some fun at work. Sing a bit of Elvis, maybe. Have mercy. Now, the last one is interesting. Meaningful work. My data shows that meaningful work directly reduces burnout, but in combination with high work demands, in combination with high loneliness, it intensifies your odds of being burnt out, because you just keep going, because the work's so powerful and so meaningful, until you're on the floor crying, going, I don't know what I've done with my life. So watch out for that meaningful thing. Okay, I have a one-time special offer for everybody in this audience, everybody online. You can have this too. You need more self-care and you need more me time. And I'm going to give you this golden ticket. It is virtual. You have one right now. You can reuse it. If you're watching it online, just re-watch the talk. Get a new one every time. I want you, with this golden ticket, when the significant person in your life says, honey, you're going to do the laundry, mow the lawns, clean the house, clean the garage, I want you to say, well, I would like to, but this professor from New Zealand gave me a golden ticket, and he says, I have to go and fill in the blank. Go to the gym. Have a coffee date with your friend. Get your nails done. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you feel good, spend some time. I can see my friend here in the audience nodding, thinking, I am already making a list. Remember, you don't want to be burnt toast. You need to recharge, just like those hydrating devices that we carry around all the time. Watch out for smoldering. To summarize, a reminder, socialize. We are at a lovely conference, fabulous people to talk to. Socialize and make a human connection, not a virtual connection, make a human connection. Talk to people, listen to people, find out something new, share something new, make that real connection. My name is Jarrod Haar. I am from New Zealand. I am a Maori, an Indigenous scholar of Ngāti Maniapoto, Ngāti Mahuta descent, and it has been my pleasure talking to you today, and good luck not being so lonely. Kia ora.